holy crap, the Bills are taking it, and the Bengals are done now. And are they mathematically eliminated? I don't know.
Yeah,
More and more
I would-
teams
I
are
would think
mathematically
so.
eliminated,
Right.
but maybe they've got a 1% chance.
Probably something like that. But again, it's the same old story with the Bengals.
The Steelers and the Ravens.
You know,
they get back into it because the Steelers.
Yeah,
and the Ravens fall apart.
right. But bad start of the year, just like, I mean, again, I know they won the first two, but then they went on. Joe Burrow got hurt. They couldn't figure a way to manage some games and win any football games. Then they had to trade for Joe Flacco. They got it going a little bit. But, yeah, it just seems like every year the Bengals are fighting some other elements of what's the most important thing is fighting on the field. And this year it was, you had new defensive coordinator, young offensive people, Trey Hendrickson in the contract, right? Shamar Stewart, their first-round DN. He's banged up. His knee, he's not playing. I mean, they've had it all. And it's just unfortunate, again, because we sit there and we look at them and we go, when they play their best, especially on the offensive side of the ball, they're one of the most fun teams to watch, and we know he's one of the best quarterbacks in football. But the rest of the team and the organization continue to seem to fail Tee Higgins, Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase.
I want to talk about Tee Higgins for a moment.
You mean one of his 4 concussions yesterday?
Well,
he hit his head a lot yesterday.
He hit his head a lot yesterday, and that's how he got the concussion 2 weeks earlier. Hit his head hard in the game against the New England Patriots, missed the Thanksgiving night game because you're not going to get cleared 4 days after you hit your head that hard in the fourth quarter of a game and have a concussion. He hit his head multiple times. They checked him multiple times. He, after the game, was defiant. I'm a soldier. All the cliches that can cross the line into being unfortunate because we want players to care about their own health and safety.
Yeah.
It's hard to expect the league and the teams to care about the players' health and safety if the players have no regard for it. But they also need to make their decisions and implement their processes, understanding that the players are going to be wired
they're
to not
psychos
care.
mostly, right?
So I'm just kind of uneasy that he was allowed to keep playing. And they asked him after the game, did you consider pulling yourself out given that you had the concussion 2 weeks ago? And no, I've never given. I know my team needs me. And that's what you expect a player to say. I almost feel like they need to have some sort of device when a guy is coming back from a concussion. And I don't want to make it objective. I don't want it to be a formula, but I just feel like you need to have an extra layer of sensitivity. And it can't just be, oh, he's good to go. Well, he just had a concussion. Like, what else can they do to protect these guys? And did they really check him out the way? Like, it just makes me uncomfortable when I see a guy's head in those heavy-ass helmets hit the ground over and over again, especially on a day when the ground is frozen. We know what that impact can do. Back to the game from earlier, Rashee Rice took a hit last night, and his arms are flopping around like he's maybe in the fencing posture. And I'm going to send some questions to the league and the Chiefs today as to whether or not the ATC spotter pressed the button. Like somebody needs to be vigilant about whether or not they are truly taking care of the players in these situations, because there's a difference between actually caring about player health and safety and acting like you care about player health and safety, because it's good PR and it's good politically to act like we care, but we really kind of don't. We'll let them go do what they want to do. This is the life they've chosen.
You're right.
We're not going to start pulling guys out of big games and affect the outcome by saying you need to go get a concussion evaluation. You're not going to be available for 15 minutes of real time.
Right.
You're going to miss 7 minutes of clock time. I think there's always been a hesitation to do that.
Definitely.
And like last night, I mean, when we watch a game and we've seen just the signs that it looks like somebody got blown up and needs to get looked at. If that guy doesn't get looked at, it's kind of like, why didn't he get looked at?
Yeah.
So we got some questions we're going to ask today, and they may not appreciate them, but they should welcome them, because somebody needs to be willing to say, what can we do to make this better so guys don't slip through the cracks?
It's tough. It really is a tough conversation, right? Because, I mean, I care for people. I don't want people to get hurt either. But at the same time, too, knowing myself.
You kept playing with a busted spleen.
And again, I'd be the guy, too, if my head was, no, my shoulder. That was my shoulder. It wasn't my head. I'd be the guy that would lie to the doctor for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm pretty sure Woody Marks in the Houston Texans game last night, he got hit on the head. He was a little dinged up. When they came out and looked for him, he pulled the old, well, something's in my eye. That's what he did. I mean, that's what a lot of guys are going to do. It's a tough situation. And as a fan and as an old school football kind of guy, and I grew up with Phil Simms and Bill Parcells, and there's a little bit of like, hey, being a little wobbly every now and then, that's part of the sport. And I know that's probably not the correct thing to say. I get that. But you heard me joking yesterday. Catch the one in the middle, T. I mean, because a little just like, hey, you get your bell rung. That was part of football growing up. And again, I'm not saying that's right, but the other part of it is, like you said, it's just hard to stop grown men when they're like, no, I'm good. I want to play. I'm ready. I'm good. And that's where it is a very hard thing. And I'm hear you. I'm sensitive with you too, but there's also a part of me that's like, hey, if the guy wants to play, he knows what he signed up for. He's making a lot of money. Let him go play.
If you've ever watched UFC or MMA, I mean, they are dishing out 10 concussions in rapid fire, and nobody ever says
no.
And
they're enjoying it. That's what's if you're there in person, you're like, this guy likes getting hit in the head. He's actually enjoying it.
Philosophical conversation that doesn't get had nearly enough. Like, the players know what they've signed up for. Joe Burrow said that after the Damar Hamlin incident. I think, like, we know that there are a bunch of different risks.
Yes.
And we've signed up for this.
Right.
And see, this is where the NFL is walking a tightrope.
It's a tough one.
Because the players embrace the risk. When do we tell the – and, there have been rare moments where a guy taps out. I remember when Ben Roethlisberger did it against the Seahawks 10, 12 years ago. Yeah. And some were like, oh, this is the sign that the culture has changed. This is so important to have. Yeah, one guy doing it doesn't change the culture.
Right.
One guy who has no concern about losing his job, who's made his money and then some. But most of the league is worried about losing their position, getting Wally pipped, haven't made nearly the kind of money that a franchise quarterback who's been playing for 7, 8, 9, 10 years makes. And so I think it's unrealistic to say just because one guy did it, all of a sudden it's different. It's not. And it's ingrained in the football culture. And it's just because it doesn't get discussed and drilled down upon doesn't mean it's not there. So that's an important point because I'm surprised Tee Higgins didn't get pulled out of yesterday's game. I'm surprised he didn't get pulled out of the game.
With the current state of the league and things, I'm surprised as well. I really am, and especially like you said, having coming off a concussion just 2 weeks ago and the sensitivity towards that. But he obviously, listen, we didn't. What I will defend now again, and this is where we have to trust the player. He played and he made some damn good plays. Yeah. So where you go, well, I don't, he seems to be able to focus and do what he's got to do, right? And that's where it's tough too, because then he could sit there and go, yeah, you wanted to pull me out of the game in concussion. Look at me, I'm catching balls with one hand and people so my focus is there. I'm understanding the plays. I'm reacting in real time, right? Yeah, I got a little ding, okay, but I'm okay. Trust me.
But I'm sure there are plenty of guys who have been concussed and still perform.
Exactly right. Yeah. Exactly right. There definitely is. So that's where it's a tough one, certainly. But that was an awesome game to watch. Buffalo is unbelievable.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.